Hello and welcome to episode 11 of our Timberborn Update 3 modded and aesthetic playthrough with the Folktales faction. It's been about a week since I posted a video, so if you want to know the reasoning behind that, you can check out the community tab on my channel. But I am very glad to be back at home with my normal computer, normal recording setup. Everything is all good to go, and I am excited to get back into making more and more of these videos as time goes on. So, I figured what we would tackle today is a few small improvements, various things around the town, as well as coming over here and replacing all of these triple floodgates with some of these big metal floodgates like we have over on this side. That's going to be a pretty big project and probably something we're going to tackle first because of the way these are set up. Presently we have triple floodgates on top of these levees. I guess I can go ahead and get the underwater view going for you. But what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to delete all of these and then these levees down at the bottom, which means the only thing holding water in is going to be these two 3x3 levees. And we're going to remove those as well eventually. But we're going to have to very carefully drain water out of here. We are in the tail end of a drought. So probably first thing we're going to go ahead and do is just very slowly let this drain out a little bit. We don't want anything to get super flooded because this whole area down here will be absolutely inundated if we do this with a lack of care. Let's go ahead and close this entire half off, save this water back here. So we want to get this drained, get most of that water downstream flowing out, or to fill up this little lake right here. And then once this is down a pretty decent amount, we can start taking these levees out and start replacing them with these metal floodgates. I think we're going to have the 7 high ones. We'll go ahead and unlock that. So you can see how tall that actually is. We'll be putting that pretty much right back here. I'm not going to have it built behind these because, one, we don't have access to the top of this super well. And that's going to make things look a little strange once that's all said and done. But we'll go ahead and just let this water flow out at a reasonable speed and while we tackle some other projects. Again, if you go too fast, it's going to flood everything. And I can run this one at triple speed. That's right. Because this is my desktop that actually has the capacity to handle all that stuff. Very thankful to have a laptop that will let me do game recording on the go, but this is just so much better. So while that's happening, we're letting all of this drain out not too fast. Have to be cognizant of all of the flowings and everything over here. We also need to start thinking about other things that we can be improving. There's a couple of suggestions we're going to take into account. We also need to make sure that our wood workshop guy is working, because we're going to need a pretty good amount of the treated planks to build these metal floodgates. Let's actually check on that. We have, 10 for each of these. We're going to have to build 6, so we have to have 60. Right now we have 43. And I don't believe there's anything that is presently requiring the use of these except our floodgates. So we're going to definitely want to make sure that these guys can do everything that they can do. So we'll go ahead and pause the carousel so we can stop sucking up so much of the power and this guy can have a little bit faster movement here. That was another fun thing about having all of the water drain out of this upper reservoir is it will power everything down here with these water wheels. And of course we have the windmill as well. So while we are over here, let's go ahead and start implementing a few of the suggestions you guys made in the comments of episode 10. First off, these stairs right here can be replaced with these decorative stairs that are part of the other mods that we've downloaded. So we'll go ahead and replace those. Just look a little nicer. And I think we're going to go ahead and... No, that's not the right button. We're going to go ahead and retire these things and then come over to our decorative dam pieces and just replace these with regular slopes like that. That's a little interesting looking. And some other people have made suggestions that we might want to put books over here because, it is a university. Universities typically have libraries. And when we get into making books, of course, we've unlocked it. We haven't started making any yet. But when we actually get around to doing that, I imagine we will reconfigure some of this area into that kind of a purpose, most likely using small or medium warehouses with little roofs on them, like little miniature libraries. So that'll be something fun to look forward to for the future. Why are these dry? None of this should be dry. Is that because we have... Oh, it's because this has lowered. Okay. Well, the good news is this won't be dry for 16 days. We just have to come in here and fix the rest of this. So let's go ahead and continue letting water out here. We have 45 of these treated planks. That's going to get interesting if we don't have all of these finished by then. The good news is I think we don't need these right now anyway. But it should be pretty much the only thing having to be powered over here is this little wood workshop. Go ahead and get this all the way emptied. It's already down to 0, so what we're going to go ahead and do is start replacing. I think 1/2 of this at a time would probably be smart because we don't currently have the ability to really do all 6, but we can do half. So in the event that we can't finish by the time that the drought is over, we're still not going to be super messed up when it comes to getting everything else taken care of. So let's go ahead and get these guys to get all of our logs and planks out of here. Then we'll get rid of this 3x3 levee, and then we'll start replacing with other stuff. And in the interest of actually getting this done, we are probably going to have to adjust our workday, because it's not going to be nice if we have to still be doing this during the wet season. It's just, really not going to work out super well. Let's hope these guys get this with great haste, and it looks like they have. Go ahead and get that as well. Yeah, come gather this immediately. And then we can go ahead and start with our metal floodgates. There we go. Alright, now come get that. Excellent. Alright, now let's get this stuff built immediately. That's the only really bad thing about the way that I have this constructed is it's not going to be terribly fast to replace all of this, and I would really have to hate waiting to get the rest of this done in a secondary drought cycle. So we're going to try to avoid that. We'll do the best we can. It's obviously not always possible, especially with, the relative lack of everything going on over here. The good news is we have plenty of planks and plenty of treated planks on hand to make at least half of them. Yes, we have one with all the planks. We have enough for 2 more, and then we have 2 more for here. Yes, we're really only just missing 10, which is unfortunately still a pretty good amount to be missing. And the reality is that we really aren't going to be able to let any more water out, unfortunately. And that's probably going to cause us some problems. But it's not all bad. But boy, this sure is going to be nice when that's all done. I think we might still be okay if we go ahead and get the rest of this started. Because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to have the rest of this all taken care of. It's just going to come down to the mercy of all of our other stuff occurring at the right time. We got plenty of beavers. Plenty of beavers to build. We have a decent amount of haulers. We got 10 of them. We have no shortage of labor. It's just one of those things where you're like, well, there's not really too much else we could be doing right now. So let's go ahead and just power on through this. The unfortunate reality is that it is just very hard to do everything all at once. And it's very likely that it's not always going to be possible. But we can certainly try our best. We'll start with these outside 2. We might be alright. If we can just get this guy to make his planks a little bit faster. Another plus of doing this is once we can get rid of these, we'll have the full depth of water available to us if we so need it. I don't think we will, but that will be inside the mountain there. That'll be nice. Another thing that you guys have suggested is to add some more access on this side of the levee for more of these water pumps. And that's something that we're going to do. I just don't know exactly the best way to do it. I believe probably what we're going to have to do is do something like this with our little spiral staircases. I believe if I do something like right here. Actually, no. Try something else. Actually, if I can do this, get that to be a 2, another 2 right here. I think I can do some sort of like a quasi-spiral staircase kind of thing here. Oh yeah, and then this one can go the other way. That might actually look kind of nice. Okay, drought is over. How many are we behind on here? Okay, so we only need 7 left. Okay. Well, the good news is that this is already in a pretty good spot, and hopefully it doesn't flood. Well, this guy is making the other 7 that we need. But I like the idea of having this kind of... Stop going away. This kind of a... kind of mix and match dude going here. Is that even the correct... Yeah, Folktales path. I like the idea of having this path go all the way across here, which of course means we can put in some more of these pumps. And that'll be very useful as we continue growing our colony here. So of course water is going to come absolutely spilling out of here. Just hope this guy can do his thing a little faster. Or this could get pretty ugly pretty quick. We'll hope it doesn't come to that. Although the amount of water coming through here is perhaps a little concerning. Just a little bit. We do have these dams down here that can have water come out through there if we are in a good position to do so. But now that we have this whole thing set up here, means that our pathways are a little bit more efficient coming out of, coming out of the bottom half over here. It actually looks kind of nice. So what we can go ahead and do down here is start putting in some more of these guys, because we are definitely going to need them. It's too bad we don't have the longer straws on these water pumps. But that is an Iron Teeth feature. And I can assure you we will be using the Iron Teeth for an aesthetic playthrough sooner rather than later. We just got to get through the rest of this. Looks like we have 3 treated planks left. Now if this guy can get those 2 done before the end of this workday, I think we'll be in good shape. If not, I think we're going to be flooding very, very soon, and we definitely don't want that to happen. So let's go ahead and lower that all the way. Yeah, we're flooding down here, and that's definitely not going to be great, because this guy is required to make more of these things, and if he floods, he can't make any more, and that's just well, definitely not ideal. And he's going to stop for the night at 69%. Sure, he's going to have a nice time with his evening off, but in the meantime, our kingdom is flooding, and there's not really much we can do just because of the way this whole thing is set up. And I don't think that the flow out of this area is going to be enough to really stem any of the flooding. So let's just, let's hope that things get a little better, and then this doesn't quite flood until it's flooded. Well, that was nice while that lasted. So I think what we're going to have to do now is lower this all the way down, see if that can help with our flood mitigation just a tiny bit, because we really need this last little bit to be finished. I think we might be okay. Unfortunately, I can't do anything else to stop this. I'm not willing to consider this a blunder just yet, So we're very, very close. Okay. All right. This is no longer flooded, so that means this guy can go to work and do his thing. And now these guys are getting thirsty. So, all right, dude. Do your thing, my man. You got 31% on this treated plank to do. There you go. Come on. As soon as you're done, we're going to be fine. All right. I think that was it. Now we're just waiting on the 10th treated plank here. Then these very thirsty beavers can hopefully start pumping. They already built these extra ones. Come on. All right. There we go. We are in good shape now. Just fill that up. Start pumping. Let's go. Let's get this thing ready to roll. Show on the road here. I think we'll be in a good shape. Yep, they're all pumping now. All right, so not as bad as it could have been. Just a little bit of a minor inconvenience here at the beginning of our new cycle. So that is a big improvement. I think we can definitely be pretty happy with that. This will be very nice having all of this stored pretty much at the maximum capacity. Why is this? Okay, this thing is tripping on me. Trying to do this automated levee control that just really doesn't work the way we want it to work. So we want this to be 4.5. That's going to allow this entire water level to be about as high as it's able to go. I think we'll be just fine. Even though we have 2 water, we now have, count them, 8 of these water pumps ready to go. And we can keep adding more, actually. Which is exactly what we'll do. We'll go ahead and add another 6. Because the idea here, as some of you have speculated in the comments, is not to have accessible water for all heights of the reservoir because, one, that doesn't really fit the aesthetic very well. Then again, neither does a huge thing of, I don't know, like 12 of these pumps in a row. But if we spend enough time pumping in the wet season to fill up all of our tanks, then it's really not going to be a problem at all, is it? Everything will be just fine. So now we have water coming out of the back side here, which means we should pretty quickly have it coming out of this side as well. I'm actually wondering why it isn't. There it goes. Now we're using much more capacity in our reservoir here, and these water wheels should be turning, which means we'll be in good shape. Well, it seems like it might be a little intermittent, which is, yeah, that's fine. Could definitely be worse. So now we can start looking into some other projects. And up here we have, last episode or 2 episodes ago, I can't remember which, we built our pathways up here. And it should be, all of this should be accessible, and it looks like it is. So this is an area where we can start building some other stuff. And what we haven't done, we haven't built any temples. So it seems to me like a temple would be a very logical next thing to build here. So if we were to do so, make something a little interesting. We'll give it a gap. And then put a pathway leading up to it. And then we can surround it with some nice trees if we have the area irrigated. Which is another reason I wanted to put in a bunch of these pumps, so we could get a lot more water stored up so we can support irrigation and have other storage for things as well. So we have right here, we have these 2 medium tanks, which is pretty good storage for this part of the map. We have this enormous tank right here, right next to all these water pumps. We have one right here in this little cluster area. And then, of course, that's full of medicine. But what we can go ahead and do, and of course we have this tiny one here. We can go ahead and start adding a few more small tanks around the map in various places where the beavers are going to be likely to actually use those. So, of course, we can put in... Actually, we have technology. We have the flip items mod, flip buildings mod, that I generally kind of tend to forget to use. But we can take advantage of that, of course. We'll add 2 more right here. Put something else interesting in the middle there. And then where else are we going to have... I guess up here could possibly be a good spot, except there's not really anywhere for me to build one. So maybe not quite. But somewhere we can find a good spot for it. Our little timber camp up here, of course, has the maple syrup. Probably would behoove us to put in a water tank up here as well. So why don't we go ahead, cut that guy down. We won't replant it. And as soon as that is cut down, then we'll put a water tank there. Hopefully they can harvest the maple syrup out of there. Just make sure that everything is kind of optimized here. We probably could also use another hauling post, although we are currently at a deficit for jobs. Which means it's probably about time to put another housing complex in as well. Yeah, we got this temple over here. And I think... I was trying to see, do we want to have like a priest maybe live near the temple? I don't know if that's something that lines up with whatever religion these beavers practice. But I kind of like the idea, except that's not going to look nice sitting right next to it. So why don't we give our priest a little bit of a private area here. Set that off to the side just a little bit. And then we can plant some trees. And yes, eventually we will have everything pretty much set up good to go for actually planting the trees. But for the time being, this will work just fine to start filling stuff in. Just give our temple a little bit of ambiance. I actually don't even know if a forester can reach up here, and they cannot. But that's no matter, because we have all sorts of these water toys to play with. This big irrigation tower, I don't have enough science to research, but I've seen screenshots of it. It's kind of chaotic. So we might or might not mess with him, but I think we are going to want to go ahead and get probably right about here, put this irrigation tower in. And we haven't messed with these timers or these... actually, that's part of the advanced floodgate control, I think. But we can always mess with pausing and unpausing. There'll be something for them to take care of later on, I am sure. And actually, we'll go ahead and just make all of these trees available for cutting. Because that is the idea, of course, to have things that make sense for beavers to enjoy the environment and also benefit from it. And we'll be planting other trees up here as well. Now, all these berries, we really don't need the berries. But I think it would at least be kind of smart to harvest some of them and then turn the rest of this land into other valuable uses while we're looking for other stuff as well. Yeah, I think these are all occupied, right? Man, that sound sure is annoying. Okay, so we're missing out of this 4-piece builder's hut, which is, you know, that makes sense. That's why I have these set to a lower priority so that they can go do something else. Explosives factory is paused. That's fine. All right, I think we're good on employment. Just wanted to make sure that something important wasn't missing. All right, and this is cut down, which means we can go ahead and put in a small tank. We'll have that accept water. And that should hopefully be a little bit more capacity as well. Yeah, we just need our guys to go about their business doing whatever they need to be doing. And we'll all be better off for it. The temple is complete, which is good news. In terms of our well-being, we're doing a pretty good job on most of this. Obviously, we can keep adding more and more things. We can get a bonus from the metal staircases. We haven't tried that yet. Monuments. We want to be getting into monuments pretty soon. I don't know exactly when we'll be able to do those. But we will at some point. We'll have to turn the carousel back on. Mud bath, I don't think, since we're not into the terraforming yet, I don't think we can really do that. Somebody left a comment that this sound was actually that Rasputin song. I think that's how you pronounce it. That would not be correct because that song is in a minor key and this is in a major key. But it is the same kind of structure. I know this is not a music theory channel. This is a survival city builder channel. But I did go to college for music for at least a couple of years, so I can at least tell you the difference between minor and major modes. Oh man, that would be cool to see more done in the game with the music. I think that would be a fun well-being add-on. Maybe have Beaver sitting around the campfire playing actual music. I don't know if they do right now. I just haven't noticed or paid attention to it. But there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with the different kind of recreational activities. It looks like this is all good to go. Irrigation tower looking fabulous. A whole lot more green on the map, which is great to see. So let's go ahead and put in another forester, see if there's a spot that's going to allow them to get the most planting here. Flipping it yields interesting results. I think this is probably going to be the sweet spot we want right here. So we'll put that guy right there. And they can start getting all sorts of trees planting and cutting. Which means, of course, we'll have to have some lumberjack flags. I believe we'll start with just 4 right here, and then I think over here, put 2 more. We are going to build another housing complex pretty soon. Just want to make sure we get the groundwork ready and going here. We got our little beaver. I know the temple doesn't have a mechanic for a priest or anything, but I like to believe that that's what this is. So, of course, let's go ahead and put in a lovely little roof on his single priest home here. So that'll be nice to look at. And I think there's a couple other places where we could do something like that as well. I like our little barns with the 3x2 roofs on there. I think that looks nice. And we also have, over here, we have this warehouse full of gears that honestly probably doesn't need to be here. But it's already here. So we'll go ahead and just dress that up with a little bit of a roof as well. Just to make things look a little bit nicer. We have over here, this seems to be working pretty well. What I probably should have done is built a bridge across this river and then had everybody get these trees out of here and then put some more industrial stuff over the top of that. But that's not something that I have ever thought of in the past. So maybe we'll do that today. We still have plenty of time left in today's episode. We have plenty of planks, actually. So why don't we go ahead, get rid of that one. And then I think... Nope, that's the wrong deal. We'll go ahead and put in this little staircase here, and then we will get these trees cut, which means we can then build over the top of everything. And of course we have this enormous ruin here that will eventually go away. Let's go ahead and get rid of these things that don't need to be cut anymore. I think we're doing all right as far as that's concerned. We actually haven't marked any of this as cuttable, which we will go ahead and do. Just make sure we stay ahead of everything, because it's very, very easy to forget, as we all know, and have little bits of chaos occur when you're out of all your stuff and you can't really do anything. Actually, are these accessible? Yes, they are. Okay. Very good. So this is in place. That's going to be all good to go. So as these are removed, we can gradually put more and more of these platforms here, which I will just go ahead and start, because there's no rule saying you can't, and they can still walk underneath without any problem. Just have to make sure we're all good to go on that front. And of course there's no power because they can't reach through here. So let's hope that this is just a temporary issue. Although we do have a pretty good store of gears and planks right now, so I'm not really worried about it. The thing we really need to be concerned about is smelting and other fun stuff like that. But in the meantime... Ooh, powered levees. I bet... Now I'm trying to think. Because I have to have this pathway here. Is that I'm going to have to figure out a way to get power between these two buildings when I have this this whole thing set up. So I wonder if that's just going to have to be something where I could research the powered levees, dynamite down. Huh. I might have to just replace both. Let's go ahead and let's try something here. Bear with me. All of my Timberborn scientists who are curious. This will be a fun experiment for us to conduct. If you already know if this works or not, feel free to leave some comments, but I'm not going to read them until after I already try it. Go ahead and get this done. I think my understanding of the powered levee is that it just kind of takes the place of a power shaft and a levee at the same time, which would lead me to believe if I put 2 here, or possibly 4 in a row, and then place something on top because it has horizontal and vertical shafts, that it would carry power underneath. So we'll give it a shot. We'll see. It really doesn't hurt to try. So that is exploded. Put that guy there. Go ahead and... there really isn't any reason not to try it. We'll go ahead and do that as well. Just get all this picked up nicely. I never really bothered to check and see if there's any lumberjacks in sight here. So I guess I should probably actually put one of these down. Maybe. Just a thought. So they can actually get these trees out of here. It would probably be nice to, actually do that. I'm so sickeningly curious to see if the power levee is going to solve our problem here. Could just be a little bit of a nonsense, but I digress. Alright, so we have these set to accept goods from other warehouses. So this should start emptying as soon as we get our haulers to do their thing. Actually, we're going to go ahead and build another hauling post. That actually fits pretty nicely like that. We'll put that right there in the middle. And then we can maybe put something else decorative-wise. Ooh, yeah, some beaver statues. And then maybe in front of the beaver statues something else as soon as those are built. We'll figure that out, but that gives a nice aesthetic bonus. Because I want to start building some books. I think we can do some of that over here. We have plenty of power, theoretically. We have plenty of power being generated if these windmills are working. And we also want to start doing the gravity batteries as well. Alright, so we got that taken care of. Let's go ahead and put in our powered levee on that side. Do the same thing over here. And then I believe we'll want to go ahead and dynamite this out. They shouldn't have any problem getting down there without a path. I hope they're not that dumb. Looks like these are filling up, which is great. This is working quite nicely. We're looking over here. We made any progress yet? Planting any trees? Okay, they planted some of those, which is good. And he is, I guess, waiting for something to do. So we'll give him some stuff here. Although I'm going to want to put some houses. I think we're going to want to do like our little beaver houses right here. So I think we'll just kind of... You know what? We can just click and drag for most of this. And then just kind of pepper individual trees in the middle. That's the fun thing about having, I guess, additive selection or whatever the correct term would be for that. Is you have a chance to do something at least kind of interesting. It's not going to be perfect. But it will at least be somewhat different. Yeah, that'll be fine for right now. Now if we come back over here to check on this, we'll go ahead and detonate our dynamite. And since it said it was solid, I'm trusting that this will actually work. But you never know. Alright, let's come back over here and start building all of our other things right here. Hoping they can actually, you know, get this to work. Go ahead and hire that. We'll make that a lower priority job. 28. Alright. So we did something right. What was the... I guess the temple's really boosting stuff, so that's good. Ferris wheel. We need to make a Ferris wheel. I still don't really know where to put that yet. Because it's... I think we have it researched. Yeah. It's kind of big. So it'd have to be in a place that has access to power. Actually, right here probably wouldn't be the worst spot for it. We just would have to move the rest of this somewhere else. Or find some other way to transmit power. Like, if these powered levees end up working, could be a really ingenious underground power solution, since it contains horizontal and vertical shafts. I think that is stands to be a very useful thing for us. The real question is, can you put a path on top? Looks like you can. Okay, that's cool. We just need the rest of this to go ahead and get built. Looks like they've got a couple more trees to take care of. We'll let them do that. And then we will, of course, replace with all of these guys right here. And then we'll take the stairs out. Put a pathway in there as well. And then I think we'll be in pretty good shape. Yeah, we should be okay. I think we can start making books over here. Yeah, that's a 4 wide, so that's going to work nicely there. I was wondering maybe if we wanted to try this right here, have these 4 be that way. Yeah, because if you're doing that, you're kind of wasting space, but if you do this, could be interesting. Yeah, we can try some printing press there. Maybe have 2 of those side by side. Another wood workshop, possibly. Put that guy just like so. Then have these all connected like that. Possibly. Although that is kind of ugly, the way that we have this all set up. This guy now has nothing to do. Alright, well, that can go bye-bye. They can start building the rest of this. So actually, we don't have to have this right here. We can actually have this come over on this way. Might actually end up being a little better. I don't know. We'll see. We got some time. We got some space. Just got to get everything actually constructed here. Looks like they're waiting on... Well, nothing. They're just waiting on guys to come in and finish this one. And then they need everything for this. Well, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Looks like we're in good shape. We've got plenty of water now, which is fantastic to see. Guys are just kind of moving it around. And now we have this guy going to work over here. Let's put in some more housing over here. Looks like we're at a deficit of about 21 beavers in terms of vacancies. So we can build at least that many. I was going to try and keep this around 100. I think realistically to do the rest of what we want to be doing in this playthrough, we're going to need another 20 or 30 beavers anyway. So I think realistically we can support probably about 150 to 200 on this map without getting too crazy. And I feel like we're in a pretty good spot for the, I guess, the trajectory for completion. All we really have to do, we haven't messed with, is, of course, terraforming, which never really ends up being that useful to us anyway. I would really like to avoid having more than one district, if at all possible. But the only other stuff we really haven't messed with is these mechanical water pumps, which we really never do anyway. And then, of course, bots, golems. I don't know if we even want to do those guys here. We might end up doing it, might not, but I would like to try and do a little bit more aesthetic focused stuff, so that kind of might take a back seat. Of course, when we get into our Iron Teeth aesthetic and mod playthrough, you better believe we're going to be getting into some bots. And I keep seeing this train mod that's shown up in the past week or so. That looks like fantastic fun. So I think that will fit very nicely with the aesthetic of the Iron Teeth faction. Might try to do some sort of a, I don't know, train industrial based thing for that. I think that could be good fun. So let's go ahead and get the rest of this all taken care of here. I believe we'll go ahead and move our pathway to this side and then get rid of the path here. Keep that as a straight line, and we'll go ahead and put in our lumber mill there, and we'll replace this with... Actually, I could get away with doing something like this and putting some more storage on this front side here. Yeah, let's do that. Why not? There's no law that says I can't do that. That'll still provide a connection, and hopefully, if the powered levees actually do their job, then we'll be able to utilize all of this. That'll be very, very useful. So we'll go ahead and focus on these two to make sure we can take advantage of that. And then in the front here, why don't we try and put in a couple of decorative things, like, I don't know, shrubs aren't really that great. Beaver statues could definitely be a good one, though. We'll put in one of those guys, and then maybe a bench, and then on the corner something else. It would be really cool if I could put in... Oh, I can put a platform on top of the bench, then put a roof on top of the platform. Oh, it makes kind of almost like a little bus stop kind of thing. That's neat. I ought to do more of that. Yeah. Let's try that. No, I didn't want to do that. Let's do a couple more of those. Just to create a little bit more visual interest, to keep people out of the non-existent rain. But I like little details like this. I think that's going to be nice. Adds a little bit more visual interest. We still have all this space over here to do something else with. I'm not entirely sure what. It could have just ended up being more food storage, because we really don't need so many more carrots and stuff growing over here. I think we might be moving on from that at some point in the future. They certainly are taking their sweet time building all this stuff. We're approaching the point where we're going to start running out of time. Still have another good 10-15 minutes left, so hopefully they can get that finished. Get this gear workshop going as well. I mean, in terms of other resources and stuff, I think we're in really good shape. We got 2,000 water, we got almost 6,000 food. Logs, we still don't have a ton, but seems like we have enough. Could definitely be worse. We still haven't done anything over here. I wanted to do some sort of vacation waterfront homes or something over here, but I'm not really sure that's going to be that that realistic or that possible. I don't know. We'll see. I do like the way this looks. I just wish the trees would grow a little taller. Alright, let's put in trees over there. Get that going. Let's take another look at our well-being scores. Yeah, we're definitely missing a lot of these fun things. And the monuments, of course. Which I guess we can go ahead and unlock. We have enough science. We just have to find a good spot to put a lot of this. It's not really, we don't really have a great spot. Although I think right here could end up being good. We just get rid of all of that. Probably could fit nicely. This little guy right here. I don't know which direction I'd want him facing. Labor monument's the same size. The tribute to ingenuity. Nope, come on. Oh, I don't have enough science. That's right. It needs 12,000. I only have 11. But he's a 3x3, so he actually could work right here next to these water wheels. So that might actually be where we end up putting him as soon as we get 12,000 points. We have 11,239. So why? When this is creating power, this should be receiving it. Huh. Maybe it's because there's nobody actually at work. That must be what it is. Because these are making power. So yeah, I think our tribute to ingenuity is actually going to go right here because it's going to be directly connected to all of this. Which means I need to find a good home for the other guy. Actually, this roof right here. If we get rid of that, could be a really good spot for that. Yeah. Is it the most beautiful thing ever? Not really, but that is a good spot for it, efficiency-wise. We will want another one over in this area, most likely. I wonder if... Okay, drought in 3 days. I wonder if we could put this guy on the top of this. I know that's kind of disrupts the visibility of all that, so maybe not the best spot. Or, hear me out, we could put in right here. Get rid of those maple trees. Deplant this whole area, and then we'd put in some nice double platforms and have him elevated way up high. Of course, we'd have to build scaffolding to get up there. Or maybe just a single platform would suffice. I think that should be okay. Then we can still have pathways underneath. Or put some useful stuff like, I don't know, medical beds. Never really have too many of those, right? Medical beds or shrines or something in the space underneath as soon as they are able to, you know, actually get rid of all this. So that could be a good spot. Have it elevated a little bit. Or we could even turn that one into the Flame of Progress. That might be kind of fun. I don't know, just stuff to think about. Now, it looks like this has worked fantastically well with these powered levees. So that is a very, very good discovery there on our part. Let's make sure, do we have all this? Okay, now that's set up correctly. That's looking very good indeed. Now, we need to have more power coming out of here. I think these large windmills probably still okay. We just don't have a lot of we don't have a lot of access to other spots here to put more of that, unless we were to do something down here instead of having more of the more of this. We probably honestly should have put in more water wheels, although I think I can only fit one wide. So maybe that's what we want to do instead. So just have one of these here. I think let's do that. Just make a little bit more power. Let's get all of our rubble picked up here. I don't really know if they'll be able to get the rest of this picked up before the drought happens and then water doesn't flow that easily. I don't know. We'll see. Though I do think a lot of these we can probably turn off most of these during a drought. Just so we don't suck the entire reservoir completely dry. But I think we can probably keep the original 4 of those going and just turn the rest of these off when a drought starts. Now, just ideas here. Alright. So let's get the rest of these all picked up. I guess they... okay, there we go. Let's get the rest of this all nice and neatly picked up. So I want to get this. I want to get this thing in before the end of the wet season here. They do tend to be a little slow as soon as you want them to do something, don't they? All right, come grab that. As soon as that disappears, we're going to put this bad boy in its place. Hopefully, somebody come get this. There we go. All right, we'll put that right there. And then maybe we can figure out something else to put here. But that will power most of this. They'll help us a little bit make some more progress there. We got 2 of these printing presses. We've got a wood workshop over here. Paper mills. I don't really think we need to worry about paper mills. We do have the 1. I think I need to unpause. Or I can just, you know, delete this and move it somewhere else. I think that's probably going to be the smart thing to do. Is just get rid of the rest of this and put something a little bit more useful here. Like maybe we'll put in that Ferris wheel. I don't know. They have plenty of stuff to collect if they so choose. So we have all of this space over here we can now utilize. We just have to be a little careful of how we put stuff in there. Obviously, the wood workshop is going to be important. And then, you know, explosives factory, we honestly might not need another one. I don't really plan on blowing up too much else. That is a 4 wide thing, so we would have to have one of these and then maybe something else at the end here to kind of cap this off. I don't know if that's a route we want to go down. But I do think we'll go ahead and put in... I wish that wasn't like that. We are going to need to go ahead and put in a paper mill somewhere. We'll get that figured out. Oh, 29 happiness. What's contributing there? Is that because they finished the... No, they haven't finished the labor monument, have they? No, they are in the process, though. They haven't started doing any of that yet. So let's go ahead and come over here and get these 4 things set up. And I think we might just want to go ahead and put the Flame of Progress over here. There's really no reason not to. Actually, we are coming pretty close to the end of today's episode anyway. 1 day till the end of the wet season. So I think we'll start the next one right on the drought. So let's just take another last look here at how stuff is shaping up. I really wanted this to get done, but I guess they have other stuff to do first, which is, you know, understandable. It's not ideal, but could definitely be worse. Oh, that's probably the books, actually, that are getting the little happiness bonus. So, let's see. Is there anywhere... Oh, silly me. I could have replaced these ugly decorative slopes with some little library spots. So let's actually do that. I believe those are going to go in warehouses, small warehouses. Have this set up for... Yep, there we go. Put some books in there. Put some little 1x1 roofing on top of that. And that should be a pretty good spot for that. Without having to tear up too much else. How are we, nope, no progress here. I guess they're still working on these beaver Yep, that's probably it. Beaver statues and the little benches and everything. Man, they haven't even finished doing the platforms here. It's probably because we're missing so many beavers to do stuff. But that's going to be a problem we solve in the next episode because we are, again, getting very close to the end here. And this area right here is definitely going to be another little beaver housing area. We've got a nice opportunity to make that a little better. And then figure out what in the world we're doing over here. And then mess with a few other things we haven't really done too much with. And then maybe look into doing some bots. But other than that, there's not really too much else I really want to do in this playthrough, minus just trying a few other things out. I think we've done a pretty good job of exploring a lot of the aesthetic type of content, at least in comparison to some of my other builds have just been completely all based around efficiency and just cramming stuff wherever it'll fit. Well, I guess not completely about efficiency because a lot of my stuff really isn't that well designed. It's just kind of if it works, put it there. If it doesn't work, well, put it there anyway. You know, not really a great strategy, but we certainly try. We have a whole lot of fun doing it. So yeah, as the sun starts to set on the last day of this wet season, that is indeed where we're going to call for this episode. As always, thank you so much for being here and watching these silly little Beaver City Builder videos. It means a whole lot to me for you to spend an hour out of your day watching me play the game. And as always, I read all of the comments. I respond when I can. I'm not always able to get to every single one, but I do read them. So if you have anything at all to say, whether it is a comment, a question, concern, want to roast me for bad gameplaying, bad building practices, offer suggestions, or helpful tips you think I might not be aware of, comment section's always open. I love talking to you guys, so please take advantage of the opportunity that we have there to enjoy talking to each other. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.